Hello everyone. I, Ms. Bhavna Danesh Munod, welcome you all in Agricultural Development Trust, Shardabai Pawar, Mahila Arts, Commerce and Science College, Sharda Nagar, Baramati. Good morning, dear students. Last period we finished with a utility chapter, and now we are starting with new chapter in economics, that is demand analysis. This chapter is divided into two parts, children. That's why third A is demand analysis chapter, which is telling us about what is demand. We all know, say a small child demanding for toy means he wants to say he's telling his mummy, he's after his mother that I want a toy. I want a toy. I want a toy means what? He's demanding for the toy. So that is called as demand. When you want a certain thing, that is called as demand, children. So demand means what? To purchase a commodity, to want a commodity. Now utility we have studied. In utility what we have studied, it is defined as purchasing power of a commodity, say, or desire to have a particular commodity, that is called as utility. So when we have studied this utility chapter, then we come to our demand chapter, which is same what utility means. Demand is telling us that we want that particular thing, that particular commodity. As I gave you example about a small child telling his mother that he wants to buy a toy, that means he's demanding for that particular toy. So what is demand actually? To purchase a thing, or say a desire to have that particular thing. And in economics, say demands means a desire to have that commodity. So it is desire backed by willingness and ability to pay. That means, in short, in economics, demand is defined as desire plus ability plus willingness to pay. Now see, for example, here in textbook it has given that a desire is to purchase a TV set, but a person say wants a TV set but he does not have the advocate purchasing power, then it will be simply a desire and not a demand, children. See, desire is different, demand is different. Now what we know, that demand is what? To have that particular commodity. Then what is there? They have told that in economics, demand means desire plus ability plus willingness to pay. So they have given an example that if a person wants to purchase a TV set, children, that means he want to purchase, so he must have that much money to buy that TV set. Otherwise that will not be considered as demand, it will be his desire. Desire means what? Dream, that he wants that TV set, but if you don't have enough money, children, to purchase that particular commodity, then it is not called as demand, it means desire. And that is the difference between desire and demand, children. So see, if you can see what I have told you, this example regarding if a person has the desire to purchase a television set but does not have the advocate purchasing power, then it will be simply a desire and not a demand. And thus demand, what they have told, an effective desire, and all desires are not considered as demand. That is the meaning of demand. Keep in mind. Say all desires means all dreams are not considered as demand. Why? Because when we are demanding a particular commodity, we should have money also to purchase that particular commodity. So demand is an effective desire, but all desires are not demand. So in short, see, if you can see, children, demand is equal to desire plus willingness to purchase plus ability to pay. If you can see, demand is what? Is equal to desire plus willingness to purchase plus ability to pay. That is called as meaning of demand, children. Now see, in your textbooks they have given identify the concept. Now first one is what? As we have studied, in meaning of demand, what? Desire is not considered as demand. Desire means you are purchasing or you want to purchase a commodity, but if you have money and you purchase that commodity, that means you are demanding the things. So here the concept we will make clear. They have given examples. A poor person wants to have a car. So when a poor person wants to have a car, it will come as desire. and a rich person bought a car, means purchased a car, then that is called as children demand. See what I am telling again, according to the meaning concept. A poor person wants to have a car. See over here. A poor person wants to have a car. So what will come over here? Yes, desire. And a rich person bought a car. Here the fill in the blank will be demand. So these concepts are told about desire and demand. Then we'll come to definition of demand by Professor Benham. So Professor Benham has told the demand for anything at a given price is the amount of it which will be bought per unit of time, that is price, at that price. So the following features of demand are that demand is a relative concept and demand is essentially expressed with reference to time and price. Now see children, definition of demand, as we have studied, meaning is what? Demand is equal to desire plus ability to pay plus willingness. So this is called as demand. Then definition also they have told, according to Professor Benham, that demand for anything at a given price is the amount of it which will be bought per unit of time at that price. Means children, in a simple way, according to that price of the commodity, it will be purchased at that particular time. It is called as demand. Simple way I am telling you. So Professor Benham has told that the demand for anything at a given price means whatever you want to purchase at that particular price, at that particular amount, you purchase that commodity at that price, it is called as demand children. This is definition of demand. And therefore they have told demand has two features. That first one is what? Demand is a relative concept and demand is always expressed. The second one, that demand is essentially expressed with reference to time and price children. Now we'll see what is demand schedule. See, a demand schedule is drawn children, or it is a tabular representation say of relationship between price and quantity demanded for a particular commodity. So demand schedule may either be individual schedule or market demand schedule. See, we are studying what? Two types of demand schedule today children. That is, demand schedule is divided into individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. Okay. So first we will see what is individual demand schedule children. This first we will see. Schedules we are studying. So demand is compared according to the individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. So individual demand schedule means what? Only single commodity or quantity of commodity will be considered. Individual means price of a single commodity or single quantity is considered. We'll see what it is. Just we'll see. Individual demand is the quantity of a commodity demanded by a consumer at a given price during a given period of time. So individual demand schedule is a tabular representation children showing different quantities of commodities that an individual consumer is prepared to buy at various prices over a given period of time. So this can be explained with the following individual demand schedule. Now see what they have told. Individual demand schedule means an individual consumer, a single consumer is buying different types of commodities at various prices. That according to the table we will see children how individual price is compared. Means prices will be different of various commodities, but how a single person is purchasing that type of commodity. So from following table, this is table 3.1, we can see how this individual demand schedule has been marked. So can you see over here in this table, see they have mentioned price of a commodity X. See what they have told, price of a commodity X over here. Okay, individual demand schedule we are studying. Then next column is quantity demand of commodity X in kgs. See, individual is there, only one column, single column. Why single column? Because only an individual person is purchasing a commodity at different prices. Price level are different. Commodities also he purchased differently. So see, price is mentioned over here in X rupees and quantity demand of commodity in kgs. Okay, so we considered say mangoes or say sugar, anything, any commodity we'll consider. So we'll consider over here mangoes. Now for 10 rupees, see, 10 rupees the consumer purchased 1 kg of mango. For 8 rupees the consumer purchased 2 kgs of mango. For 6 rupees the consumer purchased 3 kgs of mangoes. For 4 rupees, children, the consumer purchased 4 kgs mango, and when the price was decreased, then the consumer purchased 5 kgs. So individual demand schedule, we have to compare what price with quantity. Okay, so in this only single quantity has been given and prices have been given. So when we see that at price rupees 10, see, higher the price is there of the product, that is mango say. So at price rupees 10, how many mango was purchased? Only 1. Then the price reduced, 8 rupees it made, then 2 kgs were purchased. Again the price reduced, 6 rupees it was, 3 kgs purchased. Till 2 rupees the price was reduced, children. Then how much kgs of mangoes was purchased, children? 5 kgs. So what they have shown in this table, children, that at different quantities of commodity X purchased by an individual consumer at various prices, means see, prices were changed also and various quantities were also changed according to price. And we observed in this table, children, that when prices was less, more quantity was purchased, and when price was high, less quantity of commodities were purchased. This individual demand table has shown this thing, that less quantity of commodities demanded at rising price means what? Higher price, and more quantity of commodities demanded at falling price. So it indicates an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Now here what demand and quantity are showing? Which relationship, children? Inverse, not direct. Why inverse? Because higher the price, lower was the quantity demanded, and lower the price, higher was the quantity demanded. It is exactly opposite. That's why we can tell over here in individual market schedule that inverse relationship between quantity and demand was told over here. This is our first type of schedule in studying demand. Now first individual demand curve has been taught. Then according to how graphical representation can be done, just see this figure, children. See the graphical representation. On x-axis what we plotted? Quantity demanded in kgs. Y-axis we plotted price in rupees. And then we all know 0 to 6, say 7. X-axis we plotted what? Quantity demanded according to the table. Then 2 to 10 were the price. So if you can see we start with, for 10 rupees how much quantity? 1. For 8 rupees 2 kgs. For 6 rupees 3 kgs. The points are plotted, children, like that. For 4 rupees how many was demanded? 4 kgs. And for 2 rupees 5 kgs of mangoes were demanded. Say example, we studied this. So what it shows? That demand has been shown in downward direction, children. See, when lower the price was, higher quantity was demanded. That is DD is equal to demand curve. That means in individual demand curve is sloping downward, because as the price was lower, quantity was demanded more. So it is showing in downward direction. That is individual demand curve schedule. Okay. Now we come to our next thing, that is market demand schedule. As we studied about the diagram, x-axis quantity demanded, the same thing is explained over here, children, that in figure 3.1, x-axis represents quantity demanded and y-axis represents the price of the commodity. So demand curve DD slopes downward, we have seen, from left to right, indicating an inverse relationship between whom? Price and quantity demanded. Now we come to our market demand schedule, children. Market demand. Okay, what you see in this figure diagram? A lady is purchasing tomatoes or apples, say. This person is selling her the product. Now individual demand is that a single person is there. This diagram is related to what? Individual demand, a single person purchasing. Now we'll come to a market demand schedule, children. Now what is market demand schedule? Now market demand is total demand for commodity from all the consumers at a given price during a given period of time. See, market demand is for all the consumers, not a single. All the consumers at that particular price, at that particular time, given period of time, means there are many large number of buyers or sellers would be there in that particular market. So market demand schedule is a tabular representation showing different quantities of commodity which all consumers are prepared. All consumers are prepared to buy at various prices over a given period of time. And it is obtained by a horizontal summation of all the demand of consumers at various points, children. So see, market demand schedule we are studying, children. Now what it tells us about market demand schedule, that there are various consumers buying different types of commodities at various prices, and it is obtained by a horizontal summation, children. So this we will study according to the table and the diagram which is there present in market demand schedule. Now see, what it tells us, that individual demand schedule already we have studied, that it shows us inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So market demand schedule also says the same thing, but let us see how it explains. So we'll come to the table part, children. Now see, in the table 3 columns are there. We'll see that first. That is, price of commodity is given, quantity of X demanded in kgs is given, and market demand has been given. Now see, 3 types of consumers are there. They have told A, B and C. 3 types of consumers are there, and at the last this third column, that is A plus B plus C, we have to add. So price of commodity they have given. See, at rupees 10, A consumer purchased 5 kgs of mangoes, say. B consumer purchased 10 kgs of mangoes. C consumer has purchased 15 kgs of mangoes. And at last this column say A plus B plus C has been added. Means 3 consumers commodity purchase has been added for this price. Which price? 10 rupees. That means 5 plus 10 plus 15. How much it has come, children? 30. Then come to next 8 rupees. 8 rupees, one person. Consumers means what? Person only. So A person purchased how much? 10 kgs of mangoes. B person purchased 15 kgs of mangoes. C one purchased 20. Then all these 3 were added, and what is the total over here in market demand? 45. Okay. Now see, children, same thing for 6. At rupees 6, how much was the total? 60. Then at rupees 2, see the total of comparing all the 3. One person how much? 25 kgs he purchased. The second one person purchased 30. And the third one purchased how much? 35. And the total over here is 90. Means in market demand schedule also, what has been told, children? Just check it out. That at price rupees 10, higher the price, how much commodity was purchased? 30. And at rupees 2, that is low the price of the commodity, even if the 3 persons were there, how much commodities was purchased? 90. That means what it shows? Same thing it shows even for market demand schedule, that higher the price, children, see, higher the price at rupees 10, low the commodities will purchased, low the price rupees 2, higher the commodities will be purchased, and this is called as market demand schedule, which shows an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Only the difference is what? In individual demand schedule, what we studied, children? Only a single consumer. The table was showing price and commodity only by a single person. But here what has been done for market demand schedule? 3 columns have been made, that is price is also there, then quantities of commodity compared to 3 persons, A, B and C. These are consumers, A consumer, B consumer and C consumer purchasing the commodity. Then at market demand, all these 3 were added. A plus B plus C. So this, when we studied with the table, what it showed that at price rupees 10, 30 kgs were purchased of mangoes example, and at price rupees 2, 90 kgs were purchased. That means higher the price, low was quantity demanded, and lower the price, higher quantity demanded. That is called as market demand schedule, and thus therefore this demand schedule shows an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, children. So this we studied about what? Yes, individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. Now we'll study the graphical representation, see, of a market demand schedule. Now already it has told, we studied over there that market demand schedule, children, will show in a horizontal way. Horizontal curve summation will be there. Of who? If we compare individual market demand schedule curve and see market demand curve. So in figure 3.3 it is shown that horizontal summation of market demand curve is there. So we'll just study this market demand curve. See, x-axis what is plotted? Quantity demand in kgs. Y-axis what it is plotted? Price in rupees. And we have seen that the demand curve is sloping downward from left to right, children. And it is showing relationship between price and market demand. So as we have seen, see, for 10 rupees 20 kgs, for 8 rupees how much it is? 40, for 6 60, for 4 80 and 200. That means in this table also we can see, or in this graph also we can see, children, 10 rupees 20 kgs, but when the price was less, 2 rupees 90 kgs were purchased. So this shows inverse relationship between demand and price, or say price of a commodity and quantity or demand. So this we have studied in individual demand curve and market demand curve, that demand is having an inverse relationship between price of the commodity and quantity of the commodity, children. The difference between individual demand curve and market demand curve is, individual demand curve is of a single consumer and market demand curve is of 3 consumers, children. Consumer A, consumer B and consumer C, that we have seen in the table. Now remaining part we will see in the next video, children. By then, thank you.